Winkly pinkly plumcello, my friends. Welcome. Thank you for popping in. I'm delighted to chat you up while sipping a wee cup of dandelion tea. And oh yes, I'll offer you a wild gooseberry nettle scone as soon as they come from the oven. You know, here in the fairy mist, you'll find lots of fairy stories, fairy reflections, fairy clothing, fairy DIY, do-it-yourself items, and tutorials, along with great photoscapes of fairies doing what fairies do best. Flit, flit, and zoomy zoom zoom. Just fairies being fairies. Now this morning I was in my Jardin, peering into the newly planted lacy window box, when I heard a rustle from the ground near my feet. Being of a curious nature and always aware that fairies abound in my yard, I immediately shifted my gaze to the area from which I heard the rustle and bustle. Not at all surprised, I saw a wee mousie scurrying along in the fern grotto, trying desperately to hide from me. Now, this wee laddie must have just recently arrived, and I know this because he obviously has not come to know the total safe haven of my yard as yet. You see, the fairies have a complete village here. Waterfalls and fountains to bathe and swim in, mansions, cottages, and rustic tiny little homes with which to set up housekeeping, flowers and ferns to delight them all, and the caretakers of the village, Mistress Hermione Snoodlewort and Mr. Ingeborg McViking. And both of these characters have an infinite love of all things fey. They nurture and care for all the fairies, animals, and their wee fairy friends. So, as I was saying, I take a constitutional daily, every morning, to assess damages and make sure that everything is set aright from the previous night's fairy antics. You see, it's no small matter keeping up with these darling little rascals. Therefore, every day I will be bringing you tales from the Jardin, village and valley, to enjoy and to keep you abreast of all the newsy chatter wafting on the fairy mist. Well, I needn't waste any more time. I must tell you what became of that dandy little mousie. Well, he scurried and hurried and finally escaped behind my tea house, only to speak out from behind it and look at me as if I were a mousetrap chasing him. How absurd. I reassured him that there was nothing to fear, and yet he finally disappeared somewhere under my fence and out into the wild unknown. You know, he'll be back. I'm sure of it. Once everything was straightened out and I had conversed with all the lovely flowers and ferns, I returned to the house to begin my day. As I was making my way back to the house, 3 little squirrels and a smattering of doves, chickadees, and finches all converged on the village for breakfast. The sun was peeking into the yard by now, and the baby blossoms were opening their eyes to the glory of the day. Ah, yes, this promises to be another wonderful day in Fairy Mist Valley. Do stay tuned and come each day to hear all about our wonderful wanderings and the epistles that go on in a saga day to day about Fairy Mist Valley and the wonders there. Ta-ta.